30th March 1999. It was a day when history was written. A day when one man stood against the tide of the world's fiercest cricketing team. Brian Lara, the Prince of Trinidad, crafted an innings so divine, so immortal, that it remains etched in the annals of cricketing greatness. This is the story of his unbeaten 153, a masterpiece that defied logic, shattered records, and lifted the spirit of a nation. But to understand the gravity of this knock, we must rewind to late 1998. West Indies cricket was in shambles. They were humiliated 5-0 in tests against South Africa, and Lara, the captain during that disaster, faced severe criticism. The once dominant Caribbean side looked like a shadow of its former self. Even in ODIs, the story wasn't much better. A 6-1 loss left the team in tatters. The West Indies Cricket Board, desperate for a solution, handed Lara the captaincy for just first 2 matches of the Frank Worrell Trophy against Australia. It was a vote of no confidence, loud and clear. Fans were furious, the media ruthless, and the players, they were fractured, broken. Australia, on the other hand, was soaring. Fresh off a 3-1 Ashes triumph, they were a well-oiled machine, and it did not take them long to assert their dominance. The first test in Trinidad was a nightmare. Chasing 308, the West Indies collapsed for just 51 in less than 20 overs, 19.1 to be precise. A 312-run defeat. Rock bottom for Brian Lara. The critics were relentless. Headlines screamed, Lara's leadership a failure, and Lara had nowhere to run. But you see, legends don't stay down for long. Amidst the chaos, redemption came in Jamaica. In the second test, with his back against the wall, Lara fought back. A majestic 213 parred the West Indies to victory, leveling the series. It wasn't just a knock, it was a statement. And with momentum shifting, Lara was reinstated as captain for the remainder of the series. And so, the third test in Barbados. The stakes were immense. Australia, led by Steve Waugh, were determined to crush any hope. Winning the toss, they elected to bat, and despite early setbacks, they posted a daunting total of 490, courtesy of Steve Waugh's defined 199 and Ricky Ponting's elegant 104. In reply, the West Indies' response was spirited, but fell short, managing 329 and trailing by 161 runs. The pressure was mounting, but then came a twist. Walsh and Ambrose, the gladiators, bowled with venom, skittling Australia out for 146 in their second innings. The target was set, 308. The crowd sensed an opportunity, but the Australians smelled blood. It wasn't going to be easy. You see, Australia did not have just bowlers, they had assassins. Warne could turn a ball on glass, McGrath could land it on a coin, and Gillespie, he'd bounce you out of your dreams.
From that position, you would simply have backed the Australian attack, which was as good as any that we've ever put into the field. McGrath, Gillespie, Warne to do the business.
The chase began with promise, but quickly turned disastrous. The score was 78 for 3 when Lara came out to bat, which soon worsened to 105 for 5. The Australians could almost taste victory. Yet, amidst the ruins, Lara stood firm. Lara's innings began with caution, each run meticulously crafted. Singles and twos peppered his early play as he gauged the pitch and bowlers. Mindful of defeats and controversial dismissals, he had been waiting to beat the Australians for a long time. Then, like a tempest gathering strength, he unleashed a barrage of strokes that left the Australians shell-shocked. Late cuts of surgical precision, ferocious pulls that crashed into the boundary boards, and off drives so sumptuous they seemed plucked from a dream. The maestro went from 50 to 100 in a mere 51 balls. A stunning display of controlled aggression. At the other end, Jimmy Adams played the perfect supporting role. His stoic 38, spanning nearly 3 hours, anchored the innings, allowing Lara the freedom to dominate. Once the paceman rested, Lara tore into the spinners. Against Shane Warne and Stuart McGill, Lara was merciless. Deliveries meant to receive were dispatched with disdain, soaring over fields and finding gaps with surgical precision.
Talk a lot about Brian's flair, the high backlift, the exaggerated moves, the flex in the legs, but just the purity of the strike, the accuracy, the precision. It was like Brian went to the wicket and didn't study where the fielders were, he studied where the gaps were.
But cricket, like life, is unpredictable. Just when victory seemed within grasp, Glenn McGrath struck. In a devastating spell, he claimed 3 quick wickets, reducing the West Indies from 238 for 5 to a perilous 248 for 8. The target remained 60 runs away. Lara was the last recognized batsman, and Ambrose, more accustomed to demolishing stumps than defending them, joined him at the crease. The chase now hinged entirely on Lara. Each ball was a dagger of tension, every run extracted from the jaws of relentless Australian pressure. Brian Lara began to farm the strike with precision, ensuring Ambrose faced as few deliveries as possible. His footwork against the spinners was mesmerizing, skipping down the track to launch Warne over mid-wicket or cutting McGill with surgical precision. Against the pacers, he used their pace, guiding the ball to the third-man boundary with depth late cuts or pulling with authority. Ambrose, stoic as ever, survived 39 deliveries before succumbing. The stadium fell into a collective gasp as the dreaded sight of Courtney Walsh striding to the crease unfolded. Walsh, the most number 11 of the number 11s, holder of the unenviable record for most ducks in Test cricket, now stood between Australia and victory. The crowd held their breath. Michael Holding's statement summed up the sentiment. That's a sight no West Indian wishes to see. But Walsh, with a resolve that belied his batting record, fended off 5 deliveries. Lara, meanwhile, shielded him like a general protecting his last soldier. The equation boiled down to a single run. Kensington Oval was a cauldron of nerves and hope. Fans gripped the edge of the seats, their hearts pounding in unison. As Gillespie steamed in for the first ball of the 121st over, Lara's focus was unbreakable. The delivery pitched outside off, and with the grace of a master sculptor, Lara drove it through the covers. The ball raced to the boundary, and the oval erupted in unrestrained jubilation. The scenes at Kensington Oval were unforgettable. Fans spilled onto the field, their roars echoing through the Caribbean. Lara's innings, lasting 355 minutes, was a masterclass of resilience and brilliance. He single-handedly accounted for 153 of the 233 runs scored after his arrival. And what made the knock even more special is the fact that no other batsman from either side managed to score more than 40 runs in the second innings of the test. Brian Charles Lara, the man who did not just win a match, but immortalized himself in cricketing folklore. His 153 wasn't just an innings, it was a masterpiece. A reminder that when the pressure is greatest, legends rise. And that day in Barbados, Lara did not just rise, he soared. So guys, that's it for today's video. But wait, don't go anywhere. If you wish to look at how good was Brian Lara or how West Indies won their first ever World Cup, click on one of the videos being displayed on your screen. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Until next time, keep watching this beautiful game. See you soon.